Dan's. I think Hank is going to be on the play.
Looks like Hank is in Boros and Danar is in Orzhov.
It looks like Orzhov.
Yeah.
I checked through his deck list. I thought he had a blue
Danar is
card
also
in it,
on a mulligan on the draw.
All right.
He's short a card.
And
so.
that's the Black Denizen.
Yep.
And Hank's gonna, what is that, a Wojak Halberdier?
Yes.
3/2 with Battalion, I believe that's what that
gives
guy
it first
does.
strike.
Yeah, that guy's pretty good on a turn 2 drop.
I have absolutely no idea.
That is the Wojak Halberdiers. 3/2 Battalion for
Battalion
first strike. Pretty aggressive card, especially seeing a 1/1 and then a pass back. So Hank will enter turn 3 here.
Hank with the madcap
he said
skills.
mad skills. I got the mad skills for the Halberdiers. Madcap skills. So now the Halberdiers are going to be 6'2",
like
and
Hank's
can only be
gonna
blocked by 2 creatures.
Swinging for 6.
6 coming in. And that's going to knock Dan down to 14 on turn 3. What? All the plays.
I don't know if Dan can deal with that with the hand he
Yeah.
has right now.
He's going to need to get another blocker out
Doesn't
there,
look
that's
like
for
he has
sure.
a kill spell in hand.
I don't see a kill spell. I see a Syndic.
2 for 1 himself though.
Yeah. He drops a body. I'm not sure which one it is.
It's gonna trigger the.
Is that the...
Den
Oh, no, he changed it to the gate thing there.
Okay.
It's the Gateway Shade. Gateway Shade, it's a 1/1, pumps off of black mana, and then
You can
pumps
tap
off
it.
your gates.
Yep.
2/2 off a gate, 1/1 off a black mana.
Tap a gate to give it +2/2.
Hank plays...
Some white card that does stuff. Wow, we are not good at guessing
No,
this
no.
stuff. Oh, it's
Murder Investigation? Is that what that was? It looked like it resolved, so I can't... It couldn't have been Murder... Righteous
Righteous
Charge?
Charge.
+2/+2 for his guy. And then swings away with the Halberdiers, so that would be
just going all in.
an 8/4 Halberdiers. He's behind them Halberdiers. Ride him to victory.
Dan's not gonna double block it. I mean, he can, but
He
you know,
can, but
his
he's
dudes
gonna
are die.
Yeah,
and-
exactly. He's gonna dump both of his dudes. So it looks like Dan's probably gonna take 8. Go down to 6. On turn 4, that would be the beats right there. Wojak Halberdiers with madcap skills.
It's like Dan drew a dutiful thrall for the turn.
Yeah, he'll be happy to see that. Then his chump blocks aren't so bad.
See if he could draw 2.
Couple dutiful Halberdiers, or dutiful thralls locked down the board. I mean, he does have the blocking back now to stop the Halberdiers. And the Halberdiers only have a 2 on its,
Yep,
its
so it
toughness
will die.
there, so it would die. Hank would make a good trade, you know, but it'd be a 2 for 2, so not a huge.
No, because he could still regenerate the thrall.
That's true. If he plays the thrall and leaves the man open for the regeneration.
Unless he has another righteous charge.
If Hank has another righteous charge, things are just looking bad for Dan. That will be a blowout for Hank.
Can't really tell what's in Hank's hand. Looks like he has a plains.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.
You definitely see what appears to be a land in his hand. Dan's got a Syndic of the Ties, Dutiful Throw. He showed us
Paraland,
I think he's got a Balustrade. Was that what he put out last turn? Balustrade Spy? And it looks like he's got that Demir card that you cipher onto guys. They lose 3 life and then you cipher it. Which he's not casting that anytime soon. It's too expensive.
Yep.
Looks like he's going to go with the Syndic. So Syndic of the Ties resolves. He's a 2/2. He's a bear with Extort.
And he's going to play the dutiful thrall too?
And get that thrall in there and leave open regenerate mana for the thrall.
Alright.
You know, it's
Looks
looking
like
pretty
he's
good
going
for
to take
Dan.
down his creature.
Yeah, looking better for Dan. He should not extort here. Extort would be the bad news bears for him. So Hank needs to draw a few more guys here to go with that 1. Looked like he top decked
Couldn't
another
make out
guy.
who
There's
drew.
that plains he drew. Looked like he drew a gold spell off the top there.
Definitely white-red.
Yeah. Knowing Hank, it's probably a dude.
Well, it wasn't a Boris charm.
If it was, he'd have been in there already. I believe our life totals are 20-6. Daniel at 6. Hank's gonna
Maybe
attack.
it was
Maybe he
Martial
did draw.
Glory, I think.
Maybe he did draw a Boros Charmer or Martial Glory would be a good card here too. Dan figures out his dubs blocks.
Dan is at 6, so he's gonna have to block here.
He definitely has to block, and he definitely has to block with 2. It's just a matter of which 2. So we'll see what he decides here.
Dan's only gonna lose 1 guy.
If
Hank
he-
doesn't
yeah.
seem to have a problem with that,
No,
so
if he has a dutiful throw. We'll see what else he's going to block with.
he probably is.
Looks like the Gateway Shade, and I think that's is that Martial Glory?
It is a Martial Glory.
So Hank's going to give his guy +3/+3. Dan will regenerate.
Yep.
His guy will
and,
survive.
Hank will keep his guy. That's it. Probably it for Hank. Dan does not seem happy. He's definitely tilting here.
Seem very unhappy
What do you
about
do?
Hank's Martial Glory.
Looks like Dan drew another creature.
Dan would like another land right now.
Yeah.
He's got,
What's that?
what is that? Well, we're going to find out, eh?
That's, oh, okay.
It's, is that
I think it gives it
Gift of
+1.
Orzhova?
Yep,
+1/+1,
Gift of
flying,
Orzhova,
and
lifelink.
lifelink. Yeah, that's a good card, actually. That might bring Dan back into this game. What's the... He tapped for Extort, though. That might not be the best play here.
It's not gonna regen his dutiful
He's
throw.
not going to be able to block and regen with his dutiful throw, which means to me he
gonna
plans
lose
to
2 guys.
sacrifice with his 2 guys, yeah.
Unless
Hank-
Hank top-decked another.
It looks like Hank top decked a Plains that time. Oh, Hank top decks the 2/2 flying haste. That's a 2/2 flying haste.
2/2 flying haste. Definitely drew it for the turn.
Yeah, that was his draw for the turn, and he's going to get in
gonna
with
get
that
in for
2/2
2.
flying haste.
Dan can't block that, so.
Knock Dan
like
down. But
Dan's going down
Dan
to
could
5.
block with his
Oh yeah, it has
his
flying.
thrall now has
We
flying.
can't regen it. So
He
it's
could not
doing much for
regenerate.
him.
That'd be a trade. It'd be a 2 life for, 2 life for 2 spell trade. I think.
Dan could go to 9 and lose a dutiful throw,
Yeah,
which is
I-
definitely important for him right now.
I think Dan's better off keeping
Alright, so
the
he just
thrall and
takes
taking
the
the
2 and
damage.
goes to 5.
All right, what's that off the top? Was that another Syndic off the top? Looks like it. No, it's not. It's what is that gold?
That is a Syndic of Tides.
It does look
off
like
the
a
top.
Syndic, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and he's still got the spell he can't play. He's got an extra Syndic. Is that a Balustrade Spy there?
Whatever it is, he hasn't played it, so it has
Yeah.
to be bad, right?
He went to play it before when he played the Shade, and then he pulled it back. It's actually
It is a Balustrade Spy.
there. It is.
Yep.
All right, so Hank's gonna mill until he hits a land. Which at this point, I think Hank would be happy to mill any land off the top of his
Oh,
deck.
yeah.
He wants to be drawing gas now.
Land right away? No?
Nope. Mr. Riot
There
Gear,
we
he would
go.
have liked that.
Yep, we
Yep.
got
Catches a Boros Guildgate. And looks like
He's giving his guy Intimidate?
he's giving somebody Intimidate.
I know.
He just passes. He does catch the trigger, but he just passes.
Okay.
So let's see what Hank pulls here. Looked like another gold spell. He's got a land in his hand.
Could it be a Foundry Champion? No.
It's
Another one.
another
Oh, boy.
2/2 flying haste guy. So it might be Bad News Bears.
Yep.
Hank declares combat here. Might be,
Dan's definitely
he's going to swing with the team. Hank wants
not
to
afraid to throw that out
clear
there
the
now.
board.
There's no reason not to.
There's no reason not to get in there. He wants to get some tradesies here.
He did say before the match, though, that he was actually nervous for being under camera.
Yeah.
So
So we'll see. He does. Looks like he's going to get through for 2. The Balustrade Spy is going to kill one of the hasty first strike guys. And Syndic and the Denizen are going to hit the bin. And life total should be a 19-3 now as Hank gets in for 2 with his flyer. Dan has stabilized the board pretty well, though.
okay. It looks like Dan drew an Orzhov Charm.
Which could be relevant.
Could kill his thing with the madcap skills.
Yeah,
I don't,
yeah. I think
not
that's what
pronouncing
I
that
think that's
name.
what you want to do. The Wojak Halberdiers.
Yep.
That's a mouthful, and I don't blame you for not wanting to say it, Leon.
Rather not
Sounds
mess
like
it
you're
up.
drunk when you're saying it. I got Halberdiers Wojak.
Nope.
Have you been drinking, sir? No, I'm just playing Magic the Gathering.
What?
Another Syndicate of the Ties. That's going to be a good ground blocker for the Madcap skills if he doesn't want to make a trade here. Balustrade Spy can block Hank's Flyer.
Oh,
He
actually.
can leave mana open for Dutiful
Actually,
Throw.
Dan can block with the Dutiful Thrall and another creature, and then bring his Dutiful Throw back
Right,
with the Orzhov
right,
Charm.
right, and gain 2 life. So he's actually stabilized the board very well here, and Hank's drawing off the top. That looks like another Halberdier. Now that's actually good. If Hank attacks his turn, that's probably bad for him. He should probably hold back until he's got first strike on both of his guys, and it looks like he does just point across the table and say go. But maybe not, maybe not. Just saw the point there. So we're sitting 19-3. Hank
Let's see what's going on here.
Hank had the beats early. Dan seems to have stabilized the board with a little bit of extort and a little bit of mid-range guys. Looks like Hank passed the turn, but I can't be sure. He did the casual wave, so
Yeah.
you never know. It's not the Pro Tour open hand to you, sir.
Yeah.
Might also be that
You know
Hank
what?
passed the turn, and Dan might be considering the.
We're not that relevant in returning the gift of Orzhov to his hand, with the Orzhov charm.
We thought about
Yeah.
a couple things.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
not sure.
Yeah. The Orzhov charm.
Could also
James just
bounce
came in
his
and
Dutiful
yeah,
Throw,
he said he could bounce the Dutiful Throw and the Gift of Orzhova back. I think if that'd be a better play if he had a little bit more land.
He could replay it on the spot.
That's what I mean. He could
Yeah.
replay it on the Balustrade Spy and turn him into a 3/4 flyer with lifelink.
Replay the Dutiful Throw.
He could
and
also turn his
still
Syndic
have
into a
the black
3/3
mana.
flyer with lifelink, and that would pretty much shut Hank's board down pretty good. But I think the Balustrade Spy would be the better move in this case because then he can block the first strike guys with no chance of Hank getting through. Hank drew something we didn't know what it is. He put it straight down. I don't know if he's not happy with
hiding
it.
it from us.
Yes, it could be a land. It could be a Boros
Could be a
charm.
lands.
I think he's got Boros charms in his
deck.
deck there, so it could be a Boros charm. Dan's resorting lands, so that usually means something's about to go
Definitely.
down.
Thinking about the
He's thinking about that
charm.
Orzhov charm. I think he wants to do it before combat, because if he does it after combat, after
they're
attackers
gonna
are
get
declared, the
battalion.
battalion's going to be on. So if he's going to kill something, pre-battalion would be the time to do it. He could also get in the next store trigger, so that'd be good for him. He could leave black mana open to regenerate as well. I mean, he could blow Hank out a little bit this turn.
Well, Dan is at 3, so if he
He
blows
need-
up the Halberdier with the Madcap skills, he'll go to 1. But he's not going to take damage from the flying 2/2
Right.
there. Alright, looks like he's
So he
going
is
to kill
Orzhov
his
charming
Halberdier and go to 1.
The Halberdier before combat.
Alright.
And Hank's going to read the card
He's going
because
to extort.
he can't believe that would happen to his dude.
So Hank is going to go to 18, and Dan's going to go to 4.
Wobajek. So we got the extort. Now Hank loses battalion ability here, which is actually super relevant. If Hank could have had battalion there, that would have been a very strong turn for him.
Mm-hmm.
He could have attacked with a
Dan
couple
Rixel
3/2
lands.
first strikers. One would have been a 6 first striker that needed to be blocked by 2 guys. So Dan working his way back into the match. Looks like he's got a land and
Utter City Plague, I believe.
I think that's the. I actually think is that Undercity Plague
think
or
it's
is that
Undercity
slice
Plague.
card?
No, I think we played it by now. Is that Undercity Plague? Okay, I thought so.
Okay.
All right, it is Undercity
Leland
Plague.
was right. He's got the plague in hand, and the plague is about to come down. It looks like. The tides have turned here. 18-2, and it looks like Dan's going to take it over right now. Unless Hank draws some wonderful things off the top, or he's sandbagging maybe a Boros charm. I don't think he sandbags a Boros charm. I think he just goes to the dome for 4 with it. So
What does the plague cost?
6.
6 for the plague.
Oh, I just drew the mana to play it.
Nope. See, that's the slice card. He does. Hank loses
No, it
3
isn't-
life,
it isn't
and
plague.
he puts it on.
Well, no, it still lose life though.
Okay.
Yeah, Hank loses 3 life, And then it ciphers on to the Thrall.
Okay, so Hank goes to 15.
Hank is going to drop to 15. Dutiful Thrall now becomes a threat to attack. I don't think he wants to attack into the 2/2 flying haste. He does have regenerate though, so it might have been the right play to attack into it.
Hank draws a
Courtyard Denizen.
So if he has a creature, it should be over.
Yeah, if he has a white creature in hand, he just wins right now. But it doesn't look like he does. I don't know what he's sandbagging there.
Fortunately, he doesn't.
I'm guessing it's a land. If I had to put him on a card in his hand that he's holding back with. Dan also didn't show us what he's got here. We need some World Poker Tour hand cams here so we can see what they got down.
We had those. We took them down.
I think.
They'll be back up.
I think. Oh, Dan's got a spell. Is that a
It's
gutter
a
skulk?
2/2 rat.
It's a rat that's a bear.
Yep.
It's a bear that's
It's a
a
bird.
rat. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a rat. So he drops that rat, extorts, puts himself back up to 3 life, and Hank should go down to 14, I believe.
14.
Dan's thinking about the attack. He does have the lifelink availability. But I think he probably wants the blocker back for the battalion effect. Because he can take the first striker all day long.
All right.
And block. So
Seems like we have life, right? So
14 to
messing
3. That's good. This game took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, I have to say. No matter which way it turns out, Dan definitely got back in this game after being, what I figured it was in pretty big trouble at the beginning of the game.
he definitely was.
Yeah.
The Madcap skills is a very powerful card.
Madcap skills, if undealt
Especially
with, is dominant in this
Turn
format.
3, yeah.
I've seen it on that 2/2 or the 1/1 pseudo flying guy.
Mhm.
The green for 1/1 can't be blocked except for flyers and reach. I've seen that happen on turn 2. And you're usually 4 in your opponent a couple turns in a row with that guy, because for them to drop 2 flyers, it's usually going to be turn 2, 3, 4
Yeah.
before they get 2 flyers down to stop you. Hank's tapping 5 here. I believe that's the Towering Thunder
Yep,
Fist,
that
4/4 that he can give
Give it
Vigilance to.
vigilance for a white.
Yep. I don't know if Hank wanted to trade there last round. It might have hurt him this round. Giving up the first strike was kind of a big deal. I think he probably could have afforded to just take the 3. I believe Dan's at 6 life now because of the Dutiful Thrall lifelink trigger off Gift of Orzhova from last turn.
Well, Gift of Orzhova gives +1/+1, right?
+1/+1 flying and lifelink.
Okay,
Oh,
so
so
Dan
he should
would
have
be
2
at
more life.
5.
He should be at 5 life. That's my bad. He's going to attack with it again. Looks like he's going to go up to 7, and Hank's going to go down to 12 as he has no flying blockers. And then I believe Hank's going to lose 3 again off of the slice trigger.
All right. So let's see. We got
Should put Hank to 9, I think,
Hank-
off of that slice. He loses 3 life off a slice.
so
And
you
then
take
extort.
2, 5, and then Dan goes to
Dan's going to go up to...
10, and Hank would go to 8.
I don't think he gains life off the slice trigger.
No, but
I think Dan
did
goes to 8
Dan
and
extorted, right?
Yeah, I think Dan goes to 8 and Hank goes to 9 off the triggers.
I
So
hate
Hank was at
extort.
12 and he lost 3 here.
Huh? 8 to 8.
Okay, 8
All
to
right,
8.
Looks like it's 8 to 8.
And apparently neither Leland or I can do math,
Yeah.
especially when extort is involved.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, the extort trigger would have knocked Hank from 9 to 8.
Oh yeah.
Hank's
we
gonna give his guy vigilance here.
don't- Okay.
Looks like he's gonna try to alpha strike.
He's gonna attack for 4. Maybe try
Or
and
he
get a
could ju-
creature of Dan's
yeah,
here.
He could just go in with the 4/4. Nope, looks
Whoop.
like Hank's going alpha
He's
style.
all in.
He's got to try to get there, I guess. Think if he would have kept his 2/2 flying haste
Must he
guy,
has
he
to have a
would have been better
creature in
off.
hand, right? Oh, you know what he could have? He could have the guy that gives the creature +3/+3.
He
Double
could.
strike.
He could give all of his guys +3/+3. He could have a Boros charm. That would be kind of a blowout here.
Let's see what that card's called.
Uh,
Wrecking Ogre?
yeah, the Wrecking Ogre would be good.
Wrecking Ogre would
And
be
he
a
has the mana
blowout.
for it. He doesn't have the mana to
Even a-
Bloodlust. Bloodthirst or Bloodlust.
It's 5.
Isn't it 3 reds though?
It's 2 red.
Okay.
And 3
Okay.
red. Yep.
Okay.
Had that card in draft.
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
I've lost to that card in draft.
People don't block, and it's just
yeah.
like, I'll 18 you.
Yeah.
And
Here,
go.
here, take a lot of damage and lose.
Hank could also have a Boros charm.
He could have Martial. What's that? Martial.
Marital Glory?
Martial Glory. Martial Glory. Marital
That
Glory.
might be a
huh?
different set. I don't know.
Is that the +3 on
plus-
each end?
Yeah.
Yeah. He could be playing with that. fun to not be able to call the cards correctly when you're broadcasting limited format here. Looks like he's going to chump block the 4/4 with the rats. Balustrade Spy is going to get rid of it in front of the courtyard.
Oh,
Hank's got something.
Oh, he's got a bloodthirst creature.
It looks like it's a bloodthirst creature, and he's tapped 2 red and 1. Maybe it's a Shanktail? Viashino Shanktail, the guy who gives +3/+1 first strike.
Maybe.
And Hank's already got first strike on his 3/2, so I think Dan decided it was a bad idea to drop him. Yep. There's the Shanktail, just like that. So that's going to say bye-bye Balustrade Spy. Looks like 3 damage is going to get...
Kill his Balustrade Spy and
Yep.
get in for 3, dropping Dan to 5.
Like 3 is going to get through. Dan's going to drop to
lose 2
5
creatures.
and lose 2 creatures in the
He
process.
has 4 power on board right now.
Yep.
Dan attacks, he goes to 10.
He's got
Or
1 Extorter on
go
board.
to 7 if he attacks.
Looks like he popped
right?
a land
So-
off the top, so he's got 2 lands in his hand. That's not gonna do
Okay.
not gonna do much for him.
Hank's 8.
8
Yeah.
Hank, 5 Dan. So Dan's deciding what to do here for combat.
We
Or,
can see Dan's
okay,
thinking here.
Dan's gonna get in with the
Getting
flyer,
in for 2.
and he's gonna
He's going to
gain
go to 7, and Hank's going to go to...
gain 2. He's also gonna
6.
trigger the spell.
Okay, which would drop Hank to 3.
And then if he extorts, he could drop
could
Hank
extort.
to 2 and put himself
Hank
back
goes
to 6.
2, and Dan goes to 6.
That dutiful thrall is doing work.
For sure. Oh, we were off. Okay. So Dan goes to 8 now? Nope, we got it. Hank.
Choose the red white player. Left side of the screen, is that 2?
Yeah, this guy's Dan has 2 lands in his hand. Looks like he's
Looks
trying
like
to
Hank
show
drew
us.
some gas. He's got 5 mana coming
He's got
down.
a mountain in his hand. That's the card he couldn't show
Yeah,
us.
he played a
have a
white
mountain.
creature, so if he
Alright,
let's see
that
if he
has-
hits his trigger.
Battalion.
He did hit his
He's
trigger
gonna
for the
tap this
courtyard. He's going
guy.
to tap down the...
Is Hank gonna kill him here? It's
Taps
2,
down Syndic.
5, 9 damage.
Looks like it's just
Looks
enough.
like that's it. He could give this guy vigilance still too.
He did. He activated Vigilance, and
That's it.
2 lands in hand. That'll be
Alright.
game 1.